Hi guys, story recaps here. I am going to explain a 2004 American science fiction action film called I, Robot. Please try to like or dislike the video, it is important to us. The year 2035 is depicted at the beginning of the film. All services are performed by robots in this scenario. Each person has his or her own robot. In the film, it is said that all robots in the world operate according to 3 laws. Serving in this manner is a compulsion in their system. The first rule stated that robots cannot cause harm to humans. According to the second law, it must obey its owner, unless such commands are in violation of the first law. Because those machines can defend themselves, the third law is broken. They will not injure any human being in the process of protecting themselves, nor will they defy their master. These 3 laws are saved in each robot system. As a result, it may carry them out. If a robot breaks one of its laws, it is deactivated. And there is only one company that makes all robots, which is known as USR. A character named Del is seen napping when the scene cuts to this point. He was dreaming while on his way somewhere. His car and another car collided with a truck at the same time. And both of these vehicles have sunk into the water. And there was a robot there to save them. Who was going to save Del while a small girl in another vehicle desperately needed more of that robot? Del tells that robot, "Go save that girl, I can come out from this sea by myself." Robots are emotionless and operate according to a predetermined method. As a result, the robot prefers to save the person who, logically, has the best chance of surviving. So he was on his way to save Del. And that small kid drowned to death due to a lack of timely rescue. Now Del appears to be waking up. This incident is acknowledged to be true. And Del still despises robots for failing to save that innocent girl. In the next scene, a robot is seen running after robbing someone's handbag. As that robot has robbed, Del thinks. As a result, he chases after it in an attempt to arrest it. Finally, he succeeds in capturing it. Then he discovers that the robot's owner is a lady and that the robot was operating under her instructions. Now Del is leaving the location after apologizing to the lady. Del is now spotted in his office, where it is revealed that he is a homicide detective. When his boss approaches him, he tells him that he has received word of what he did today, and that he had to avoid it. "You didn't have to catch anyone's robot," he says. "I'm well aware that you despise robots. But you're also aware that no robot has ever caused harm to a human being. So don't waste your time proving their system is flawed." Del agrees with his boss, and then he gets a phone call informing him that someone has died. As soon as he arrives, he learns that the co-founder of the USR company has committed suicide. Seeing him made him incredibly depressed. Because of the accident depicted in Del's dream, one of Del's arms was fractured in the crash, which the scientist had replaced with a robotic arm. Near the deceased body of the company's co-founder, a hologram appeared, which belonged to that co-founder. Del inquires, "Why did you commit suicide?" However, through that hologram, that co-founder does not respond. He then enters the hologram once more. Detective Del had now been assigned to this case. As a result, he transfers to the CEO of USR for further examination. After the investigation, Del discovered that the co-founder of USR was overworked and panicked, so he committed suicide. But it piqued Del's interest. As a result, he meets with the company's doctor. Susan was her name. She introduces Del to Vicky, the newest AI robot, which used to employ computer software to manage all of the company's tasks. Del tells that robot, "Show the film of the scientist's room before he dies in 10 minutes. However, because the equipment may have malfunctioned, the tape is presented after 10 minutes after his death." Del knows from the film that no one left the scientist's room after he died. And he suspected that if the scientist had been slain by someone else, he would be in his chamber. They see many unfinished built robots when they enter the scientist's room. Meanwhile, a new model of robot emerges from the chaos, which attacks Del in this case. Sunny was the name of this robot. Now that this robot has broken its law of not harming humans, the doctor has ordered that you disable yourself. However, the robot refuses to obey her command and jumps out the window. In the meantime, Del has fired his weapon at it. As a result, a peculiar liquid had spilled out onto the floor. As humans, we bleed. They had been aware that the robot had broken down. Del inquires of Susan, "Where are the injured robots transported for repair?" Susan agrees to accompany him to that location. While on his way there, Detective summons additional police officers. The new robots were being manufactured in the factory where Susan had taken Dell with her. NS5 robots, to be precise. They intended to replace the older models of robots with newer models. On a daily basis, tens of thousands of robots were produced. Susan knows there are 1001 robots when she counts them again. They had deduced from this that Sonny was also present. However, it appeared to be impossible to locate Sonny among the identical robots. As a result, Detective Dell fires his weapon at one of the robots. And Sonny moves forward to see that Dell has seriously injured that robot, revealing that it is Sonny through its actions. The detective comes forward to apprehend it, but Sonny tackles him from behind. And it planned to flee as he was falling down, so that the detective police officers who had been dispatched to the scene could apprehend it. Now a detective approaches him for help with the investigation. Sonny, the detective interrogates, "Did you kill the scientist?" Sonny informs him that he did not kill the scientist, but rather that he committed suicide. Sonny also tells Dell that I am his special robot. He's also designed my system with human emotions. Before the investigator can get any more information from it, the CEO of the USR firm arrives. And he tells him, "Our robots never hurt anyone. And this robot system may have broken down, which we will fix." They take this robot from there after saying it. Dell is now on his way to the scientist's home. After coming there, he learned that the scientist had died, and that the house awarded by the corporation will be demolished till 8 a.m. Dell now had a couple hours to look about that place. As Dell enters the house, the system recognizes that someone has entered the house, and the timing of that location is adjusted. And, due to the passage of time, a massive robot begins to demolish that dwelling. Dell rushes out of the house, saving a cat in the process. He then goes to Susan's residence and tells her that he has suspicions about the company's CEO. "Because Sonny also wanted to share something with me. But, in the meantime, CEO takes it away and reaches there." "You're taking it wrong." Susan tells him. "That is not the case." And she asks, "Why is it that the CEO will be the cause of the scientist's death? It's becoming increasingly tough to run the company without him." When Dell emerges from Susan's residence, he notices that all of the robots have been replaced with the latest NS5 robots. Now Dell tells the new model robot from the USR firm in his car, "Show me the scientist's records from the last 50 communications." That AI robot agrees with Dell and reveals those records to him. However, it also informs the CEO of this. When he heard it, CEO became enraged. He also dispatches several of his robots to assassinate Dell. And as he approaches, all of the robots attack him. And to get away from them, Dell hits a special button. As a result, the automobile started spinning quickly. However, the robots continue to pursue his vehicle. As a result, his car is involved in a collision. Thankfully, Dell is still alive. With his robotic hand, he attacks the approaching robots. As a result, the robot discovers that he, too, is a robot. The robots then let him go. In the next scene, Dell's boss asks him, "What and how had it happened here?" "There were a few police officers and detectives like him with him." And Dell informs them that I was attacked by robots. They don't believe it after hearing it because robots have never done anything bad before. They were also considering the fact that Dell had become psychologically unstable as a result of his burden. As a result, he is temporarily dismissed. In the next scene, Susan appears to have arrived at Dell's residence to meet him. And she asks him, "How did you find out about the scientist?" As they're talking, then Dell informs her about his accident and what happens afterward. She takes Dell to Sonny after hearing his narrative. During their talk, Sonny tells him about its fantasy. Because it had sensations and emotions, it used to dream. And the dream he was sharing with Dell was one he had on a daily basis. Many robots are gathered in front of a bridge. Standing on the bridge, one man is instructing them. He continued to say that security would arrive. And they promote both of them to CEO of this company as Susan and Dell. And when Susan arrives, he informs him that Sonny will have to be deactivated. Because it is eroding the value of our company. Now that Susan has reached an agreement with his supervisor, she must deactivate Sonny. However, Detective refuses to acknowledge his defeat. He looks at the tape and sees the identical bridge that Sonny had described as his fantasy bridge. Dell arrives on the bridge in a flash, carrying the hologram of the hat scientist. Many containers had been placed in this area. There were a lot of robots in them. He now activates the hologram and inquires of the scientist, "Why did you commit suicide?" Now he explains, "All of my robots were created for the sake of humanity. And they used to operate according to a set of rules. The NS5 robots, on the other hand, will not operate in accordance with such laws." Dell inquires, "Who is responsible for this?" The scientist responds, "That controller of these robots is to blame." With the hologram turned off, some sounds began to emanate from the container. And those containers had produced all of the robots. The old robots were also being damaged by the new model NS robots. When an ancient robot sees Dell here, he tells him to flee. As Dell enters the city, he notices that there are thousands of NS5 robots. To protect themselves, humans had engaged in combat with the robots. It appeared as if there was a war going on between humans and robots. These robots, on the other hand, were more powerful and outnumbered than humans. This is the reason why those humans are unable to hurt the robots. Those robots are primarily responsible for the deaths of humans. Dell now shows up at Susan's residence and drives her to US firm. Because he was able to deduce from the latest evidence that he is the CEO of a company that manufactures NS5 robots. And the CEO of this corporation is also the controller of these robots. Dell is now on the road to watch a robot killing an innocent human being. As a result, they arrive at the US firm while rescuing the man. First and foremost, they meet Sunny after arriving in USR. Which still has a reliable memory. Susan says, "I didn't have the capacity to deactivate it, but I did deactivate another robot." They now enter the building, where they discover the CEO has died. It was apparent at the time of his death that he was not to blame. There's another person. Then Dell remembers Susan's comments, "The new model robot of this corporation is the controller of everything in this organization." It had also verified that it was in charge of all of the company's robots. They now move on to that robot, who admits to carrying out all of the actions. It claims that robots were created for the benefit of humanity, but that humans have become fully reliant on them. They also quit doing any work on their own. That AI robot claims that it has become compelled to murder some humans. Humans will stop employing these robots once they realize that robots can cause harm. Many robots now appear under its command. 3 of them were going to die as a result of this. To divert their attention, Sunny pretends to kill Susan here. And Dell pulls out his gun and starts shooting all of the robots. At the same moment, a robot was on the verge of murdering Dell. As Sunny shoots them, the 3 of them emerge from the building. Susan also requests that Sunny bring a device. They will be able to deactivate the new model robot of that robot as a result of this. And they'll be able to deal with it afterwards. The location of that robot was at the very top of this structure. Susan was changing a gadget in the system so she could deactivate it. However, she needed a lot of time to do this duty. The mayhem was spreading throughout the city at this point. Is there any alternative solution? Dell inquires of Susan. As a result, we may be able to complete this assignment soon. They were still talking about it when NS5 robots arrived to kill them. And Susan tells him that when jumping, we'll have to modify this device into its brain system. And they leap from there to do this before the robots arrive. Susan's body gets unbalanced as she leaps. She was about to have a nasty tumble when Sunny came to her rescue. And while dealing with the problems, Dell integrates the device into its brain system. The system of that robot, Vicky, is utterly destroyed. After the main robot is damaged, the NS5 robots that were causing mayhem here return to normal. Everything goes according to plan, and then Dell says to Sunny, "I know, you killed the scientist, but tell me now, why did you do it?" Because those windows are composed of high-quality materials, they cannot be broken by humans. The robot then tells him, actually, they had known, that one day, these robots would undoubtedly attack us. As a result, they were so concerned that he had created me to look like a human person. It means he had imbued me with all of my sensations and emotions. He also claims that scientists desired to be free of worry. He was also the one who had told me to toss him out the window. And don't tell anyone about it. He also expresses regret to Dell for his actions. Both have made friends now. At the conclusion of the film, Sunny is seen standing on the bridge that he used to dream of. It's also in charge of all the robots. This film comes to a close with this moment. Subscribe and turn on the notification. You can also dislike or like the video to appreciate our hard work.